What is up, guys? It is Council of Bad Decisions back with another album review. Now, this is an album. It's called Death Consciousness, recommended by a friend. Um, and I have not yet listened to this album, and I'm going to listen to it, and I'm going to give my honest review. I have my trusty notepad right here. Get everything down that I need to get down. Um, so yeah, I'll probably show like a time lapse of me listening to this. I'll tell you what I think of it when I'm done. Wow, that was quite an album, and I'm not just saying that to say it. I'm saying because that was just quite an album. The album Death Consciousness that I was listening to, by Have a Nice Life, was made in or recorded in 2008. Not recorded, released in 2008, and it's part of a genre. I googled it and it said it was part of a genre called shoegaze, which I've never heard of before. But after like listening to the 1 hour and 20 minutes of the album, it sounds more just like kind of like post something, post rock, post punk. Um, this kind of follows like I honestly like just like the long um build ups and long songs, kind of like a Godspeed You Black Emperor kind of trait. So I think it's post something. Yeah. So as for like the instrumentals and everything, the song starts out kind of like I honestly don't think there's much else in the song, and it's just starting out when the song like the album starts out. Nothing else in there except for like keyboard stuff. I think I might have heard a harpsichord at the beginning, or it was like some sort of guitar. I don't know, but I also heard synth, right? Synth throughout the whole entire um, album in various places. The drums, honestly, were one of the most interesting parts of this album. Is that they were loud, industrial strikes and booms, um, that made up the beat, which honestly is something you know I haven't heard in an album really at all. Um, the bass is like honestly pretty unique. Has pretty unique bass lines in my opinion. I heard some pretty unique kind of bass lines in there. Instead of like following the melody for like some albums I may have listened to, that's what they do. But um, this one was more unique. And then the guitar was it had a lot of time had deep like bass, deep bass, um, like added to it, and then of course a little crunch because it's rock. And then also the vocals. One thing they have like this like sometimes like they had this like telephone effect over them. It was like a muffled like telephone like or kind of like a little bit of distortion and like muffled telephone like kind of sound and a lot of reverb and a few harmonies in there as well. I feel like the meaning and the lyrics and everything. The lyrics like it's probably less important. I saw some like describe just like the lyrics describing like limbs and stuff and but overall like it's like a really depressing tone, like that's just like the whole album, I think. And I think my take on it, the meaning of the album is it's supposed to accurately represent depression. Um, and I'm gonna make another connection here to, I'm sure you've heard of, even if I'm sure some of you have heard of this. It's called Everywhere at the End of Time. No, Everywhere. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. Um, which is supposed to musically represent dementia. Or was it dementia? It was, yeah, it was dementia. And I think this kind of musically represents just depression because the lyrics get seemingly get more and more depressing as like the album goes on, honestly. So that as far as like the meaning, I think that's kind of like the core right there. One thing I did not like about this album, one small thing is the lyrics. Like not the lyrics themselves, but like honestly more like the vocals. You cannot hear them. You cannot decipher them because it's like you listen to it and it's like the vocals are like distant, like they're like distant. It's like the guy who's singing the song is like far away in an empty room. Um, and the lyrics are kind of soft and again distant, so it's hard to like and a lot of reverb as well. Hard to decipher at all what he's saying. So you have to have the lyrics up if you want to know what he's talking about. That's really the only one thing. I do think it, in a way, adds a nice ambience, though, like a nice ambience. That's honestly about it for the album, because, like, honestly, it's hard to describe the whole thing in words, because it's like an experience. Um, but overall, I would rate this a 9 out of 10. Very solid album. Don't listen to it unless you you have to be ready for it, honestly. So, like, before you listen to this, you should listen to like Godspeed You Black Emperor or something. Like something to get your like attention span. Like to I can listen to a full album in one sitting. Otherwise, you might not enjoy this album. So s- I recommend it if you're ready for it. If you think you're ready for it, I recommend it. That's about it. See you in the next video. Shout out to TJ, Hunter, and Caden. And Ion.